My goal is that by 2021, I can live completely free of bills. Escape the illusion that in order to survive with luxuries of water, power, and natural gas must come at a cost of the working class dedicating the majority of our lives in modern-day financial slavery, in a grid designed to propel the already suited and keep us as simple working parts in a corrupt machine. In this series of videos, I will teach you how to disconnect financially from the grid 100% without having to sacrifice the energy we have undoubtedly become dependent on. Let me teach you how to harness the sun, the wind, the rain, and fire into everything from hot water to electricity. Thank you for watching My Free Life.
Once upon a time, there was a man named Sax. He so desperately wanted to disconnect from the common belief of how life was meant to be lived. So he traveled far and wide, deep into the Colorado Rocky Mountains, 100 plus miles from the rapid pace of city life that lingered there below, with dreams of complicated becoming a one-liner, and happiness made simple. It's here where he purchased some acreage, far away from the needs of strip malls and utility lines. And he quickly realized the mountain life was windy. So he began his tiny house build, purchasing only what he must and using reclaimed materials for everything else, preparing to harness the rain, wind, and the sun to keep crooked old Uncle Sam out of his pockets for good. In part one, we created the hub, the blades, the spinning section for the hub, top shaft, and the tail fin. So let's see how we're going to make all this apply to the second phase of this build. Hello, welcome back to My Free Life. This is the baby stroller conversion into a wind turbine build, part 2. So let's head on into Home Depot and get some more materials, shall we? Let's go. So our next step is to create the post that the wind turbine is going to set on. We need to create a pivoting point on the axis for the top half of the turbine to be able to spin, follow the wind. So we'll go back to the baby stroller, do a little more dissecting on that to create our pivoting point. So let's go find out what we can find at Home Depot as far as the post goes and create us a little situation. All right, here we are at Home Depot. Man, this is like a candy store for me. Love this place. Let's see what we can put together, make this old turbine, do turbine stuff. I head on into the electrical section. I figure a nice 10-foot piece of conduit ought to be just great for the post. Then I gotta find a bracket, something I can mount my pivoting point to. This ought to work just fine. And I'm gonna need a U-bolt. Yep, gotta do it. And of course some hose clamps. Hose clamps are like hammers and duct tape. You always need them. Alright, so now we got our materials. Head on back to the house and show you my idea as far as putting this stuff together. Hopefully it works. All right, now we've got our 10-foot piece of conduit, which we're going to use to make the post. We're going to cut 26 inches off of this so that we have the top part of it to use to slide the top part of our mill into and connect it so we can create a pivoting point. I really appreciate you watching. If you're enjoying this video, please remember to subscribe, like, and hit your bell for notifications on the upcoming videos. Thanks again. All right, so now we've cut the 26 inches off of that we're going to use for the top section of this windmill. So now we're going to come back here to our now 3-wheeled baby stroller and see what we can't dissect and salvage out of this. So let's take this front wheel. That ought to create a nice little pivoting point for the top half of the windmill to spin on. What do you think? Yeah, I think so. I think that'll work just fine. What we don't need is this tire on this rim, so let's pull that off. So now we have all the pieces that we need to make the spinning access point for the top of this mill. Let me show you how I'm going to put this together. First, I'm going to need to drill out the end of here so that the rim can go in it and allow it to spin. So let's take care of that portion. All right. We seem to have that taken care of. Next, we need to drill out 2 holes here for the U-bolt to go in. That's going to hold the pipe to the side of the rim, like so. So next up, we're going to take this top section, this bottom section, slide that in there like that, drill a couple bolts through it, and attach this to the bottom. You with me? All right, you with me. All right, now that's done. I'm still not convinced I'm not going to use this arm. So for now, I'm just going to use a hose clamp and move it out the way. All right, now it's the time to attach this top part of the shaft to this rim so that this can spin in the wind. Let's see how this works. Holes. All right, so the idea is that now with the fan on here, the blades, tail fin here, wind can blow this and allow this will be hooked up to the rod or to the post and allow this to spin freely to keep the blades facing in the wind. So let's see if this baby stroller gonna work out like that, shall we? Let's go on outside. So here's our contraption thus far. Let's put this into play. Something I can already see is I'm going to need some sort of a stabilizing bar between here and here, because when I add the weight on the end, it's going to want to pull that way some. So let's go create us a stabilizer real quick. I really appreciate you watching. If you're enjoying this video, please remember to subscribe, like, and hit your bell for notifications on the upcoming videos. Thanks again. My Free Life. Something just to spiff it up a little bit. Alright, sweet. Now that we know that works, let's go ahead and take this apart and go make us a more permanent stabilizer bar. Something that can stay on there for the long run. Alright, quick little trip back over to Home Depot's plumbing department, and I think we've got a solution for this. Sweet. That ought to work out great. I'll make a couple rings, locking rings. Here, 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 and here. Some screws in it. Tap some screws in there to pinch down and hold that right there. That ought to stabilize that up just wonderfully. For now, I'm going to use this O-ring that I got laying around, this large O-ring, to put on there. Now, that won't last long, but until I can make the locking rings, just so we can test this baby out. I really appreciate you watching. If you're enjoying this video, please remember to subscribe, like, and hit your bell for notifications on the upcoming videos. Thanks again. My free life. There we go. Seems to be following the wind great. And it's just barely windy out here. And those are large blades, so it takes a little wind. Oh, there it goes. That wind's picking up now. Whee! Look at them blades go. Imagine that belt around that rim and around that alternator. Generating power. That's free money right there, boys and girls. Free electricity. That's what we're looking for. In part 3, I will be showing you how to convert a car alternator into a PMA, or a permanent magnet alternator. In our application, this will become the engine for the turbine or generator that produces the power for us. I really appreciate you watching. If you're enjoying this video, please remember to subscribe, like, and hit your bell for notifications on the upcoming videos. Thanks again. My free life.